Colin is an immortal with a single purpose: revenge. He roams the earth in search of the man who took everything from him, and nothing will stop him. He won't rest until his mission is complete. On one of his journeys, Colin approaches a group of outlaws. With an unsettling calmness, he says he's only looking for someone and that, if no one gets in his way, there won't be any need for violence. But the bandits don't listen. They only want bloodshed. Armed to the teeth, they aim their weapons at Colin, ready to kill. Colin sighs, already expecting this kind of reaction, and with no other choice, he draws his sword. In an almost lazy motion, he slices their weapons and arms clean in half, as if it were routine. The outlaws, now more interested in saving their lives than fighting, begin to flee. All but Malik, who, surprised and defiant, pulls out a chainsaw. At first, he thought Colin was just a common bounty hunter, but after witnessing the immortal's skill, he knows he's facing an equal. "I'm not after you," Colin says with a bored tone. "Turn back and live a little longer." But Malik, arrogant and stubborn, ignores the warning. "If it's a fight you want, I'll give you one." Malik's attack is swift, but Colin dodges it with ease, sending him crashing into the walls of an abandoned mall. Losing patience, Colin decides it's time to end this. In a single motion, he strikes Malik, seemingly with little effort. As Colin turns his back, walking away without haste, it becomes clear that his opponent won't leave alive. Malik tries to move toward him, but his head simply falls, not even knowing what hit him. Colin feels the energy of another immortal transferring to him, yet another achievement on his path of vengeance. After his resolution, Colin heads to the nearby town to claim the bounty on Malik. However, as he attempts to cross the bridge, he's stopped by the local militia demanding a travel pass. They search his belongings and, upon finding Malik's head in his bag, are left speechless. Colin, as calm as ever, explains that he's there to collect the payment for his capture. With no other option, they pay him but demand he accompany a commander who wants to meet him. Colin isn't interested in any of it and begins to walk away, but the soldiers surround him and force him into their vehicle. He doesn't resist, but when he sees an opening, he disarms one of the soldiers and uses his weapon to bring down the vehicle, walking away from the crash unscathed. Amid the chaos, a boy from the sewers watches, awestruck by Colin's strength. The boy, trying to impress him, scavenges what he can from the dead soldiers, saying, "Can't waste free loot." He approaches Colin with a mischievous grin, offering food, drugs, or alcohol. Normally, Colin would ignore him, but as an alcoholic, he asks for a drink. The boy leads him to a bar, where Colin meets Dahlia, a woman intrigued by what he did outside. She tries to catch his attention, but Colin, tired and impatient, ignores her. However, something about Dahlia makes him stop. She reminds him of someone from his past, someone he swore never to remember. Unwittingly, she triggers a flashback. Centuries ago, Colin was a Spartan. His name was renowned among warriors, and he was about to face the Roman Empire. His wife, Moya, loved him deeply and begged him not to go. The Roman army numbered in the thousands, while the Spartans had only hundreds. But Colin, confident in his strength, went to battle. It was a massacre. In the end, he was the sole survivor. When he returned to the battlefield, he found his wife's body nailed to a cross, all orchestrated by Emperor Marcus. Colin swore vengeance. Back in the present, Colin abruptly snaps out of the flashback and tells Dahlia to stay away from him. But she insists, warning that soldiers are still after him and, unless he comes with her, he'll be captured soon. Meanwhile, in a city that appears to be a perfect utopia, Marcus watches his lover, an immortal he has kept captive for centuries, fighting in the arena for his amusement. For him, nothing is more thrilling than watching her kill. He found her long ago, and when he discovered she was immortal, he pulled a spear from her heart, allowing her to heal. Since then, she has remained by his side, serving him. Marcus's calm is interrupted when soldiers report that Colin has escaped. Impatient, Marcus orders a citywide search. Dahlia, in a hurry, takes Colin to an underground hideout where society's outcasts have taken refuge. There, he finds a doctor trying to save a sick little girl, but, without the vaccine, knows there's nothing he can do. The vaccine is only available to citizens of the Utopia, and the girl is near death. Dahlia then takes Colin back to her home and asks him to wait while she prepares. But Colin, suspicious, demands to know what she really wants from him. Dahlia, visibly desperate, reveals that the city is overrun by a deadly virus, and without the vaccine, everyone will die. She needs Colin's help to get the vaccine. Colin, as cold as ever, sees no reason to care. He turns to leave but, upon seeing Marcus's face on a billboard, finally finds a reason to get involved. With his usual calm, Colin demands to know where Marcus is. Dahlia hesitates for a moment before pointing to the tower at the city's center. "He's there," she says, "but you won't get in alone. Between the security system and the soldiers hunting you, there's no chance unless someone guides you." Luckily, Dahlia knows a secret entrance and agrees to show him the way. But there's a catch: he must help her steal the vaccines. Colin, well versed in dirty deals, nods without hesitation. "I'm ready to start." That's when they run into Joe, the boy from earlier. He overheard their plan to steal the vaccines and now wants in. Dahlia immediately stops him. "This is too dangerous for a kid like you," she says, almost maternally. But Colin, unbothered, shrugs. "As long as he doesn't get in my way, he can come." Of course, as with any walking trouble magnet, Joe quickly causes problems. One of the items he scavenged from the dead soldiers, a seemingly harmless device, begins beeping loudly, triggering an alarm. The sound echoes through the space, and soon a giant sewer alligator appears, intent on making them its next meal. "Run!" Colin yells, pushing Dahlia and Joe in the opposite direction. They run as if their lives depend on it, which, of course, they do. But as Dahlia tries to leap across some rocks, she slips and falls straight into the murky water, with the alligator right behind her. Without a second thought, Colin dives in and, with brutal precision, decapitates the beast in a single stroke. He grabs Dahlia, who can barely believe what she just witnessed, and pulls her out of the water. "Let's go, we don't have time," he says, and they head toward the secret entrance. Upon reaching the spot, Dahlia checks through the air duct, ensuring the path is clear. But there are a few guards in the way, forcing them to wait silently. Colin, who has no patience for stealth, simply smashes the duct with a brutal strike, quickly taking down all the guards nearby. "Now we can move on," he says, smiling like someone tired of playing the good guy. They advance into the research lab, where Dahlia wastes no time pointing a gun at the scientists. "The vaccines. Now," she demands, her voice firm. "No one gets hurt if you cooperate." The scientists hesitate. Impatient, Dahlia fires a warning shot into the ceiling, scattering bullets across the room. One of the shots hits the containment chamber, sending the scientists into a panic. "If that escapes," one of them begins to say, his voice trembling, "no one knows how many lives it could take." Meanwhile, Joe locates the refrigerator containing the vaccines and, following Dahlia's orders, begins stuffing them into his backpack. But something in the scientist's explanation catches her attention. "What is this?" "What are you saying?" she asks, her curiosity piqued. With no other choice, the scientists explain that the chamber contains a perfect virus with a 100% infection and mortality rate. If it escapes, everyone will die. "No one will survive," they say, nearly in tears. Furious, Dahlia demands to know why they created something even worse than the virus already ravaging the city. Then came the real shock. They revealed that the virus was created under orders from their superior, someone with an even darker agenda. Dahlia, silent, realizes what this means: the scientists are responsible for the deaths of thousands. Before they can process this revelation, a lockdown alarm blares, and the building begins sealing to capture them. "Joe!" Dahlia shouts, "The vaccines!" Joe scrambles to finish loading what he can. But as they try to escape, Colin feels something, a familiar presence, and his heart races. Marcus is near. Without a word, Colin abandons Dahlia and Joe, sprinting toward an elevator. He's going after his mortal enemy, and nothing will stop him. Ever since Marcus killed Moya, Colin has been hunting the Emperor relentlessly. Colin recalls the day he finally cornered Marcus during the fall of the Roman Empire. Marcus, with his cruel smile, grabbed a sword and began to fight. Both immortal, but not invulnerable. Decapitation meant final death. In that battle, Marcus nearly claimed victory, but Roman soldiers interrupted the fight, forcing Marcus to flee. And so, Colin pursued him for millennia. Through the Samurai Wars. During World War II. On an enemy plane, Colin spotted Marcus and leapt onto its wing, ready for battle. Even armed with a sword against gunfire, Colin blocked the shots and did the impossible to defeat him. When the plane crashed, both ended up in a church, but the fight was interrupted. Marcus, with a sarcastic smile, looked at Colin and said, "You got lucky. If I were you, I'd stop trying to kill me." Time feels heavy on Colin, his steps growing heavier as decades turn into centuries. Marcus, with his cold, indifferent smile, watches him with a look almost of pity. "It's been 2,000 years, Colin," he says, his voice calm but cutting. "Maybe it's time to move on. Moya is no longer part of your life." Those words, like sharp blades, strike directly at what remains of Colin's humanity. While Marcus spent the centuries sharpening his mind and amassing wealth, Colin remained trapped in his obsession. Rage was all that kept him going, as miserable as the first day, so lost in his quest that he failed to notice what time had stolen from him. Marcus, fluent in 52 languages and with a lifetime of accumulated experiences, offers a truce. "Why not stop this? You've got nothing left to lose." But Colin doesn't waver. "I won't stop until I avenge Moya." He refuses to be diverted, as always. At the top of the tower, Marcus awaits, unbothered. He knew this confrontation would come, sooner or later, and now that it has, he has a plan to ensure Colin never rises again. The fight begins fiercely, but Marcus, more experienced and agile, dodges Colin's every strike with ease, as if it were a dance. The battle takes them to the rooftop, where Marcus toys with his enemy, confident he'll emerge victorious. But in a moment of distraction, Marcus shoves Colin off the roof. The fall is brutal. Colin crashes to the ground with a resounding thud, and silence follows. Marcus smiles, already predicting what will come, and begins to walk away. "See you later, Colin," he murmurs, without looking back, knowing he'll return. He always does. Outside, Dahlia and Joe are fleeing, but fate delivers a cruel twist when Colin lands right in front of them. Horrified, Dahlia thinks he's dead, but then he moves. With a scream of pain and rage, he grabs her ankle and, with a raspy voice, says, "I'm still alive." At the hideout, Colin loses consciousness, plunging into a heavy sleep where reality dissolves. He dreams of Moya, or perhaps her memory. Over the millennia, he sought vengeance but failed to see she was always with him. Moya had been reincarnating, repeatedly, through the centuries, and her latest life was Dahlia. When Colin wakes, he is surrounded. People look at him with a mix of fear and reverence. He is immortal, a weapon of destruction, but now, to many, he is their savior. They know about Marcus's virus and realize they can no longer hide. The war is about to begin. Colin feels the weight of his responsibility, the need to destroy Marcus once and for all, but the path to the top of the tower won't be easy. With the secret entrance compromised, they have no choice. Colin once again infiltrates a construction site filled with soldiers. He tries to be stealthy, but a figure appears in the sky. Marcus's girlfriend, arriving in a helicopter, spots Colin immediately. The confrontation is imminent. But with a precise shot, Dahlia takes down the woman, sending the helicopter plummeting. Even immortal, Marcus's girlfriend can no longer interfere. "Go," Dahlia tells Colin. "End this." Finally, Colin reaches the arena at the top of the tower. Marcus, with his ever-present smile, is waiting. The virus is about to be unleashed. A 2-minute timer starts, giving Colin one last chance. But every blow he tries to land on Marcus fails, as always. frustration boils inside him, and instead of fighting, he focuses on disarming the bomb. But before he can, Marcus stabs him in the back. The virus is released, and chaos ensues. Devastated by what has happened, Dahlia tries to escape, but Marcus's girlfriend attacks her. "You'll die like a mortal," she taunts, before Dahlia, fueled by pain and rage, shoves a grenade into her assailant's mouth, blowing them both apart in a shower of debris. Colin feels the loss, and with it, the brutal truth: Dahlia was Moya. And once again, he failed to protect her. But something awakens within him, a fury as pure as his pain. He rises, determined to destroy Marcus. The final duel is brutal. Blades clash, but at last, Colin manages to disarm Marcus and, with a fatal strike, severs his head. The impact of the decapitation releases a wave of immortal energy, destroying the virus and killing Marcus once and for all. People begin to emerge from the shadows, free from Marcus's threat, but Colin feels no relief. With Marcus's death, he realizes there is nothing left for him. No goal, no purpose. With the city saved, Colin abandons everything and sets off on a solitary journey to discover what to do with the rest of his eternity. Leave a like on the video and subscribe for more recaps. See you next time.